Welcome to Park Bench Interviews, hosted by Randy Goodman, Harvey Callis Real Estate, your real estate professional. Get to know our community, our businesses, products, and services that will elevate your life. Please welcome your hostess, Randy Goodman.
Hey everybody, it's Randy Goodman here from Harvey Callis Real Estate, and I am really super excited to introduce my really good friend, Hailey Patry, who is just such a wonderful lady. She's a happiness coach and a marriage mentor. She's also an author more than once, and I can't wait for you guys to hear from her because she has so many things in her repertoire. She is so giving, so loving, and I'm just thrilled to have you, Hailey. Thanks for being here.
Oh, my beautiful soul sister, it's so wonderful to be here with you. Thank you very much for having me on. I miss you.
Yeah, I miss you too. Miss giving you a hug in real life, but we'll get there, right?
We sure will. We sure will. At least you can cheer people up virtually right now.
That's right. We got to share, and that's all we can do right now. So, Hailey, tell us a little bit about what do you do? Who's Hailey?
Most important thing about who's Hailey, I am a happily married mom of 3 boys, and my guys range from age 4 up to 14. So right now during COVID-19, we are enjoying lots of extra family time. Well, I would say they're enjoying lots of extra family time. I'm still working full time. Okay. And in my professional world, I wear 3 hats. So as a happiness coach, that really looks like supporting you with issues such as anxiety, depression, trauma, addiction, and transition. And we're sort of experiencing a trauma, the whole world at the same time right now, and a transition from how we used to do life.
Yes.
In my work as a marriage mentor, I coach couples and help them navigate the challenging times so that they can fall in love with each other again, get back to liking each other, loving each other, touching each other, all that good stuff. And the 3rd hat that I wear is as the happy business coach, and I support entrepreneurs in creating a business and a life around that business that they love. So I do that through coaching, speaking, facilitating, and being an author, including doing some amazing projects with you, Randy.
True. I'm gonna get to that. So, Hailey, what led you? I mean, everybody has life experiences or something happens in their life, and you are so passionate about what you do. What led you to this career option?
Thanks, Randy. It's a great question. I think for all of us, we give to the world what we once most craved and did not have. So my life mission is to give happiness and love and success. And those are 3 things that lacked for a long time for myself and for my family. I grew up in a way that led to a lot of trauma. And so in my happiness practice, all the things that I have overcome or helped people close to me overcome, that's what I'm now called to help my clients overcome. In the relationship space, I watched the struggles of people close to me. My first marriage was a marriage of struggle. And for the last decade, being in a happy marriage, these are the very principles I teach are what my husband and I use to be happy at home. And so everything I do comes from a personal experience, a personal touch with it. It's so different to have sympathy for what someone's going through, but to have real empathy, you have to have an understanding. You have to have lived a day in their pain, walked a day in their shoes. But more importantly, I know the shortcut out of the dark without a flashlight. And that's just what I want to give to people. How can you get your happy back, your love back? And how can you come from no success and create a lot of success? So it comes from my heart.
I love that. And I love your analogy. That's awesome. Coming out of the dark without a flashlight. And it's ironic because you can see all the sun rays that are coming through my windows. Isn't that wild?
You're an angel right now. You have a spectrum of rainbow light just streaking across your face. It's amazing.
It's funny because I pulled the curtain over to cover because I saw the sun was going to start to go. You see, you can kind of tell what time of the day it is. It's really early, but the sun's just starting to pass the window. Once it passes the window, I don't get the rays anymore, but it's kind of cool though, right?
Randy, you know you are the light when you literally sprinkle a rainbow across the screen. It's pretty spectacular.
Yes, and these are not virtual effects either.
No.
That's really cool. So anyway, maybe we'll just leave it. But so Hailey, thank you for sharing that. And I know you didn't dive into all the traumatic things that you've been through, and you've been through quite a few. So
If it helps, Randy, if it helps your community and your listeners, I like to use my life as a beacon of hope. So I'm a survivor of 2 childhood suicide attempts, 8 years of depression, 8 years of anorexia from the age of 8 to 16, and a very violent attack that led to cervical cancer and several reproductive and reconstructive surgeries. So if the smile on my face and the fact that I went on to make a good life, make a good family, help a lot of people, can give hope, especially if anyone listening has a child right now who's struggling or self-harming. I used to be her, and there's so much hope to make a great life, despite the adversities that we go through. In fact, because of the adversities that we go through.
Right. And thank you for sharing that, because I know it's not the easiest thing in the world. And, being in the position that you are in, I'm sure you're sharing it quite often. And,
Yes.
Although it was horrible that you experienced those things, they also led you to what you do today and the incredible person that you are. And I know there's people out there that might be struggling with similar issues or traumatic events in their life that they're struggling with how to cope with it and how to deal with it. And maybe they don't even realize that those are the causes of what they're feeling right now, or the anger, frustration, or depression they might be in. And it's really important to be able to reach out to somebody that can help them, really truly help them, not sit on a couch for years and years. And I'm not knocking therapists and psychiatrists and whatnot, but there's some that really truly help. And then there's some that basically have you on the couch for years and you really don't see huge effects. But I do know Hailey directly and know that she's one who really makes a change and makes a difference and wants you to go on and not be paying for services for the rest of your life, basically, but to actually be able to live that happy life that you deserve and that you should be living. And, so I would plead with you, especially during these times where it makes those thoughts even more difficult, especially if you're isolated alone and you don't even have anyone with you, or you might be with someone who's abusive or whatnot. Please reach out to her. Go sit outside on your deck and have a private moment, or go for a walk with your phone and give her a call and, see how she can help you, because you don't have to live like that. And sorry, Hailey, I just have to interject because you make such a huge difference in people's lives. So please reach out to her. But more about Hailey. Okay, so Hailey, you, besides all this wonderful stuff you do for your career, you also give back to the community and you're part of the community. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do in that realm, or what you've done in that realm, and just share that with us?
For sure. I love to spread whatever is working for us. And so I believe that you don't have to have an overflowing cup in order to give. Anything you've got in your cup can be shared. And so when I was 16, I started something called the Holiday Angels Mission. And growing up as a Jewish kid, Christmas was a day that I didn't have to be home for. So my brothers and I and my parents got involved, and we got many friends involved over the years. We always loved to bring things to those in need, especially during our Canadian winter, on a day where most people are celebrating, or so is the thought that most people are celebrating,
right.
But a lot of people are suffering.
Right.
Today, in my capacity as a busy mom of 3, I volunteer every month, and I run a group of 25 women, helping them access more confidence, more exposure for their business, personal growth and self-care, so that they can go out and serve in the community with what they do. And I give 10 pro bono coaching hours every week. So as a private practice coach, I'm not covered by OHIP, and I'm not covered by most private insurance plans. So it's really my pleasure and my gift every week to give those 10 pro bono hours. Everyone deserves a free session to be witnessed, to be validated, to have somebody safe hear their story and give you suggestions on what you can do to make a shift. So I absolutely love those are 30-minute sessions. So I get to help typically 20 people a week get a little sprinkling of some free love and happiness. And anytime there's somebody in my community that is asking for donations of whether it's time to be participating in something, whether it is to collect items, anywhere that I can help, I'd love to help, Randy. And you are the big sister role model in how to help. Nobody knows how to help better than you do.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
My goodness.
Yeah, you know what? It's incredible because that's a lot of time, Hailey. That's a lot of time in the week to be giving up, especially when time is your coaching time, your mentoring time. You know, that's how you earn your living. And to be able to give away that many hours in a week is just absolutely incredible. So thank you for that. And thank you for being so generous and just that wonderful, amazing person that you are.
It's my pleasure. And it sort of breaks my heart. Sometimes I'll get a text message from a friend that says, or a colleague or a client, hey, I have this person. I'd like to send them to you for your free session, but I feel bad because I know they have no money. They're not going to be able to hire you. I said, that's okay. I don't do those sessions as a sales meeting. I do the session to give the session. If that person isn't able to afford private care, I want to give them some resources and referrals for covered care. If they are in a position for private help and I'm the wrong person for them, I want to connect them to somebody that's a right fit. Maybe they just need a recommendation to a particular book or something that can get them on their way. And of course, if they want support with me, I'm honored to deliver it, but that's not why I do the sessions.
That's beautiful, Hailey. And I know that comes from the heart. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. And so tell us a little bit more what you've done in the community.
And so do you mean Mill Pond community?
I mean, any community, but sure, you can share the Mill Pond one.
So I grew up in Thornhill, and I attended school both in Thornhill and Richmond Hill. And at one point, I used to own a franchise of mommy and baby fitness. And I absolutely loved the area of Mill Pond. I used to teach stroller fitness classes for 17 moms and babies at Rumble Pond. And sometimes we would make our way to Mill Pond and we would put out our big, gigantic parachute and have all the moms and babies doing songs and nursery rhymes and bubbles. And specifically at Mill Pond, my dad taught my oldest son, who's now 14, how to skate on the ice at Mill Pond.
Wow.
I just absolutely love it. Growing up in that area, my mom and I were volunteer canvassers for all of the major charitable organizations. That was one of our favorite parts in our weeks, was to go out, whether it was for Heart and Stroke Foundation, the Cancer Society. Of course, you and I both know a lot of people that have been touched by those things. And I'd say today, Randy, aside from the 10 pro bono coaching hours I do every week, I have messages that I am always happy to share for free. So yes, I'm a professional speaker and I have a significant keynote fee in the corporate world, but when an organization reaches out to me and says, our people need you, will you help? My answer is always yes. I always waive my fees when it comes to supporting a nonprofit who's looking to do a free event for their community. And since COVID-19 has happened, I've been averaging at least one interview a day. And of course, I'm not charging for that time. I want to give the messages to the community that is asking for them.
I love that. Thank you. You know, and it just comes from having a huge heart. Huge heart and loving to give, and you know that's what you are all about. So, and that's why I love you. So thank you for that. So Hailey, how actually this would be a really good one for right now. Are there any suggestions or tips for people who are at home, and I know they can reach out to you and grab, you know, a nice 30 minutes with you, Um, do you have any suggestions of things that they can do at home or just to kind of brighten up their life and not be so boom and doom, or maybe they have tons of negative thoughts going on? Like, what can they do?
Absolutely. This is such an important time, friends, to nurture yourself. And there are a few bookends that help you infuse positivity into your day. And that starts with your morning ritual and routine, as well as your evening ritual and routine, and then your sleep hygiene. So starting your day in a way that works for you. There's many great systems out there. Perhaps you've heard of the Miracle Morning. It's an opportunity to start your day with silence, then affirmations, visualization, exercise, some reading, and some scribing or writing. For me personally, I absolutely need a positive ritual in the morning. It starts with doing visualization, setting intentions for the day, taking a bath with a giant hunk of rose quartz, doing my affirmations, really, really setting about all of the beautiful things that I intend to help create throughout the day. It involves preparing nutritious meals so I can fuel my body right, and I'm sharing what I do so it's less of a prescription that you should do it. It's more just sharing in case it's something that could work for you as well. And an evening routine is so powerful. So I highly encourage you to create a ritual that's going to close your day beautifully. Here's how I do that in my home. So first of all, it's about ending the workday, if you're still working right now, at a decisive time. That means no longer checking notifications. That means no longer being on social media. Really giving your brain and that constant anxiety a break from all of the demands of work. Do something that lights you up. The mind needs something to look forward to every day. And so whether you are working or you are homeschooling kids or taking care of seniors or doing all three, and I know a lot of you are probably doing all three, give your mind something to look forward to and then have it. Don't cancel on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Put some wind down into your evening. And then for me, my favorite thing to do, it's on the free app called Insight Timer. The woman's name is Kate James, and the guided sleep meditation is called Peaceful Sleep. Those 23 minutes before bed help to take the busy, chaotic day and put it into calm. So if you wake up well and you go to bed well, what about everything in between? Well, here's my recommendation on how to schedule your day for maximum joy, not just during COVID-19, but anytime. Mm-hmm. Number one, put yourself on the schedule. That's the time to work on your mind, your body, your health, your quiet, whatever it is. The second thing to put on your schedule is your heart. What do you need to do to honor your sense of connection? It could be your self-love relationship, your platonic friendships, or if you are in a romantic relationship, I do mean that one. The third thing to put on your schedule is what brings you joy, what makes you smile, or at least that contented inner smile. For me, it's time with my kids. For you, it might be time in front of a canvas with an instrument or with your hands in dirt in the garden. Whatever it is for you, you must schedule time for joy every day. Number four, if you are working at this time, put work on your schedule. If you are not working at this time, put your housework on your schedule. And lastly, the fifth thing that goes on your schedule is the nothing. I hope that there is some white space, some free space in your life so that you can have that flex. You can be human and practice grace. If something needs to be canceled, rescheduled, or you just don't have it in you at one time, it's nice to have flexibility. So Randy, my tip for your listeners at this time is make joy and wellness your priority. And wellness includes your heart's wellness, your mind's wellness, and your body's physical health and vitality. If we don't make those things a priority, we'll drink, we'll chocolate, we'll carb, we'll TV, we'll go to bed, and we'll rinse and repeat. And you might not graduate out of COVID-19 as the butterfly you want to be. So I think of this time as a cocoon. The cocoon is essential to the butterfly's successful emergence. And how you behave now and how well you care for yourself during this COVID-19 period of isolation is going to determine whether you come out the other side and what kind of butterfly you are when the world gets to see you again. So really take the time, set some good intentions.
You know what? I love what you're saying, and you are like the epitome of what people should be reaching out for right now if they're going through anything or even having a question. You know, even if you're not going through something, you just want to ask a question. You know, you're an awesome
Say
person
hi.
to speak to for that. So please reach out to Hailey. And if you have an organization or a group that you think that Hailey can help raise or uplift them, especially during this time, like any time, but especially during this time, because we're here right now. You know, reach out to Hailey. All the information is on this page to reach out to her. And she makes a huge difference in people's lives. I mean, she talks to you in a way that you can understand, but a way that's loving and a way that really helps. Like, Hailey, you're not about, you know, fluff and whatnot. You're actually about real results and giving people real things they can implement and help change their lives. So I love that you're so results focused, right? In what you do in a very loving and effective way. And so if you guys have an organization or a group or a small office, they may be working in the office or working from home right now, you can always get on Zoom like this or other platforms that allow you to communicate looking at each other and, you know, have a session or, you know, have a discussion and see how you can lift up people's days while they're at home, because I think it's really important. But one thing we didn't touch on, Hailey, is that you're also an author, and tell us a bit about why you felt it was important to be an author. And of course, you also did touch on the fact that people could be scribing in the morning as part of their daily routine. And
Absolutely.
this is kind of like a really good time for that because we're stuck at home anyway. You know, or we are at home. I'm not going to use the word stuck, but we are at home. Talk a little bit about the importance of sharing, or you know, what are the effects of being able to maybe even start to write?
Well, Randy, I'm an author only and originally because of you. And so, in case your listeners don't know this about you, some of the many things that I love about you is your massive heart and the way that you bring people together and the way that you connect the right people in the community with their next right friend, joint venture, mentor, partner. And because of the amazing events you've put on for years, bringing thousands of people together, you and I got to connect. And you invited me to an event, and I got inspired to write because of you. You talked about everybody having a story inside of them and the difference that that story could make. And I always had this notion in my mind that one day I would write books, but that it was some expensive and scary process. And through you, I learned that it was so easy and the writing could flow out of you in a day. And that if you banded together with other amazing experts who also had a story of hope and a story to share, that in a matter of months, books could come out that would become #1 international booksellers. So I started my writing journey with you, did two volumes of your incredible Empowering Women to Succeed series. And that was so much fun to be able to just give people hope. From there, I was invited to get into a third publication called The Handbook to Holistic Health. And then just this November, I released my first solo book project, which is called Happy Love, 5 Essential Steps to Help Frustrated Couples Fall in Love Again. And I wrote that last one for a very serious reason. I wrote the first 3 books because I wanted to give a message to those who were looking for hope and steps on how they could or their kids could overcome adversity. But I wrote my last book, Randy, because last year I was going through some neurological health challenges. I was losing my words. So as a speaker and a writer, I was not being able to speak what I wanted to say. I stopped being able to spell. I would miss words altogether. I once introduced myself under the wrong name. And I actually got very scared last year that the process I use for couples that helps them fall in love again in as little as 1 full day together, I was scared that if I wasn't on this earth anymore, that that process would die. And I felt like it was very important for me to put the process out in a book so that if I couldn't teach it or speak it or write it anymore, that any couple who needed that support, especially if they had gone through any form of infidelity or trauma, they would be able to just take it and run with it on their own. So I'm happy to report I have a clean bill of health in that sense, and everything is fine. But I encourage you, if you're listening right now, you know what you've overcome in your life. You know that there are thousands and thousands of people who want to get as far from it as you've now gotten. And you don't have to be at the top rung of the ladder to have a message worth sharing. You just need to be more steps out of the adversity, the struggle, or the learning than all those other people who wish they could come as far as you've already gotten. So putting a story out is a generous way to teach others what worked for you, warn others about the tripwires or the mistakes that maybe they could make only vicariously through you. And more than anything, it's a message of hope. People want to end up as well as you've ended up, and they'd love to be inspired by you on how. And so I encourage you to put a book out. And as Randy said, there's never been a better time. You, your journal, and your back deck may be as much activity as you're going to get in a day. So go for it.
It's so true, right? So this is like the best time. And yeah, I mean, whether you're using the book for business purposes to add credibility or elevate yourself, or open doors, whatnot, you can also be writing, if you're not in business, to leave a legacy for your family, or just to share and give people hope and motivate them. And, you don't have to, you don't even have to have had some huge traumatic event in your life. You know what I mean? You can just be sharing your experiences, sharing your story. There are tons of people out there that will be resonating with you. And so.
And while I don't think COVID-19 is going to lead to a lot of coronial babies, I don't know if you heard the term, but people were saying the next boom is going to be all the babies made during this time. I don't know about you folks, but if you have 3 little kids at home, there aren't going to be a whole lot of babies getting made during this event. But there will be a lot of books. If you think of it, never in our lifetime, so never in my 40 years or your 50 years or my grandmother's 92 years, have we ever seen a time where there was a trauma the world experienced all together. Never did we experience a time where every school closed, every park space closed, where everyone in a grocery store was wearing a mask. This will be written about in school textbooks. This time we're in now is a part of history. And if you're making it more positively than some others, my goodness, write about it. Write about it. Or if it is impacting you more tremendously and adversely than it might be for others, write about that, because your story matters.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. Thank you for that. So it's, and it's incredible how many people you can impact in the world by writing a book and sharing it, because anybody in the world could be reading it. Anyone, right? And it's so important to be making a difference. And I've told my making a difference story with somebody who didn't think their story had any impact whatsoever. And, so I won't repeat the story, but, you just never know. You never know. And,
my hope, Randy, is that because of you, you have connected thousands upon thousands of amazing people where we are now colleagues, partners, friends, collaborators in the world through your events, through your charity work. You then have caused hundreds of people to step into authorship and amplify their message around the world. It's my hope that because of you, that on the nightstand of those suffering in the world, if there were a bottle or a bottle of pills and the book, that they would pick up the book instead. And in the book, they would gain the confidence to say it's worth coming back at this thing called life tomorrow. And that if other people have made it out of what I'm going through, I too can make it out. And I just I don't know if your community knows this about you, but you're like the core of the earth in the networking community. And you feed such a massive ecosystem of people, and you have this beautiful matchmaker heart. I've never seen anybody do it quite like you, where You just know two people need to meet. And you're an action taker. So if you know two people need to meet, you're setting them up on a introduction or email or Facebook Messenger within 5 minutes. And then you're even following up to see if they connected, and you're staying in touch to see what happened. You have this beautiful way of making the big world very small and just putting people exactly where they need to be, with whom they need to be. And I'm excited that you're in real estate, because in the long time that I've known you, one of the things I've really respected about you was, okay, you were a busy single mom with kids that have a long list of their own struggles. You were an entrepreneur, but you've also been a longtime seasoned real estate investor. You are so smart with your money. And for all the years I knew you did that, you weren't teaching it. So I'm really excited now that you are officially a realtor and that you're serving with Harvey Callis. There's so much that people can learn from you. And friends, if you're listening to this right now, there's always a good time. And now's always a good time to do the right thing. But even if you're scared, even if you just need to reach out, if it's for happiness in your relationship, text me. But if it's about your house or your investment portfolio, please reach out to Randy, because she is such a wealth of information, not just the official information about how to navigate COVID-19, what's going on in your area, what your house might be worth, how to do a Zoom virtual tour of your home or do virtual staging. But she knows firsthand what it's like to live in the area. She knows what it's like to invest in and out of the area. And she knows what it's like to stretch a dollar and to go through adversity and still make it a priority to stretch those dollars and build for the future. So, Randy, I bet right now you're feeling pretty grateful with all the things changing the economy that you made real estate a priority a long time ago.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you so much for that, honey. I'll pay you later.
Well, it's
That's so sweet. Thank you.
One of my mentors said the best time to do anything was like yesterday, 3 weeks ago, or 10 years ago. Do you know when the second best time to do it is?
No.
Today. Yeah, right. So if you want to get happy or love your spouse again or find love again, now's a good time. And if you want to learn about the real estate market and whether it is switching the house you're in into one you love more, making the one that you're in an investment property, or finding an investment property, because folks, things are going to be on sale. This is an interesting time to put yourself in the market. Reach out to Randy for that. She has such a wealth of information on real estate and beyond, on all subjects of personal growth. In her toolkit, she has some of the most cutting edge experts, contributors, authors, speakers, volunteers, humanitarians. So stay on the pulse with her. Even if you have no interest at this moment in shifting your postal code, stay on the pulse of what she's doing. She's an amazing person to be on her newsletter, see what she's doing on social media. She posts positive and uplifting quotes and inspiration every single day. I am in a lot of the groups she's in, and this lady has a massive heart. She takes the time to go into all those groups and share love. So, Randy, I know when COVID-19 ends, your community is going to thrive again. And I know that real estate is still something that people need. And you're the one to tell them if now's the right time to do what they should do.
Thank you, honey. This is supposed to be about you. So thank you. Thank you for that. You know, it's so important to have people around you that you support and that you love and you trust, and to be able to share that. So I really appreciate that you're doing that on your interview, Hailey. Thank you. But, you know,
I think who we are behind the scenes of what we do professionally matters a lot for when people are deciding who to choose. For example, if you're looking to work with somebody on your mental health, you want to work with somebody who's mentally well and understands the challenge with it and practices what they preach at home, but also that they are an upstanding citizen. Their relationship to substances, their relationship to time and money are things that you deem to be healthy. And so for you, it's less important that people tour your house. It's more important that they know the kind of woman that you are, because they will make the largest financial transaction of their life with you. So that KLT, know, like, and trust factor, it's massive. And if they can know the author you are, the speaker you are, the connector you are, the humanitarian you are, all the work that you do, helping to support your beautiful friend Anna and Million Dollar Smiles and all the other charitable organizations, this stuff matters, because at the end of the day, there are thousands. I believe the number was over 65,000 at some point. There's thousands of choices when you're looking to connect with a professional. Who they are as a person matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can't thank you enough for sharing with us, Hailey. Is there a central place that they can go to where they can see some information about you and connect with you?
Yes, absolutely. Because I'm so excited about the last book, Happy Love, and how much it can help couples. Please go to the website, yourhappylove.com. On that site, you can find my personal contact information. You can send me a private and confidential text message. You have my permission, Randy, to post up my number for that. You can also scan the list of 18 chapters and tell me the one that you'd like for free. And I would be delighted to send you out the right chapter of that book that you need for support at the moment. And if you want to link back on some of the other work I do around happiness or business, just reach out. But at yourhappylove.com, you'll find most of what you need to know. And I look forward to seeing you virtually, hugging you soon officially. And Randy, thank you for the amazing work that you do. I have so many fond memories at the park and on the pond by Mill Pond. I can't wait to come see you in your neighborhood again soon.
Well, thank you so much, Hailey, for sharing with us and giving us your tips and ideas and telling us all about what you do to help people and help the community. So I really urge people to reach out to you, whether it's as an individual or as an organization, and because you just make an absolutely huge difference in people's lives. And I think you should be able to reach more and more and more people. So please reach out to her. We'll have all the contacts and links for you on this page. And thank you so much, Hailey, for interviewing and being a part of this.
It's been so much fun, Randy, and of all the interviews I've been doing over the last few weeks, from training 30 dentists, or today I'll be doing a training for 185 realtors, you are absolutely one of my favorite people to spend time with. Have a beautiful day, and have a beautiful day, Mill Pond.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this interview hosted by Randy Goodman. We hope you will take action and connect with the incredible business people and leaders in our community. And remember, Randy is always here to answer any questions you have regarding your real estate needs. Be sure to register on the website and stay up to date on what's happening in your area at parkbench.com/millpond.